Hello, I'm Natasha, and in today's session, we're going to explore a topic that so many English learners experience at some point in their journey: the frustrating situation where you can understand English quite well, but speaking fluently still feels like an impossible task. If you've ever found yourself nodding along in conversations, watching English movies without subtitles, or reading books with ease, but when it comes to speaking, your mind just goes blank, then this video is especially for you. Together, we will break down why this happens, what you can do about it, and most importantly, how you can train yourself to finally speak with confidence. So, let's dive in and transform that passive understanding into active fluency. It's more common than you think. Many English learners around the world reach a level where they can understand almost everything they hear or read. But when it's their turn to speak, they hesitate, freeze, or struggle to find words. This gap between understanding and speaking can feel confusing, but it actually makes perfect sense when you think about how we learn. Receptive skills like listening and reading are often developed earlier and faster than productive skills like speaking and writing. You've probably spent hundreds of hours listening to English songs, watching movies, or reading online articles. But how much time have you really spent speaking out loud in English? Probably not as much. And that's where the problem begins. When you listen, your brain becomes familiar with patterns, words, and phrases. You start recognizing sentence structures, intonations, and even idioms. But when you speak, you have to actively produce the language. It's not just about recognizing words anymore. It's about finding the right words, putting them in the right order, pronouncing them correctly, and doing all of that in real time. That's a lot for your brain to handle, especially if you haven't practiced speaking regularly. So don't be hard on yourself. The problem isn't that you're bad at English. The problem is that your speaking muscle hasn't been trained enough yet. Just like any other skill, speaking gets easier and more natural the more you do it. Let's try a simple exercise right now. Imagine you are in a coffee shop. The barista says, "Hi, what can I get for you today?" You understand this easily, right? But now, I want you to respond out loud in English. Don't just think the answer, say it. Maybe you can say, "Hi, can I have a cappuccino, please?" Or, "I'd like a large iced coffee with almond milk." Try speaking it now. Go on. Say it aloud. You see, this kind of speaking practice forces your brain to access the vocabulary and grammar you already know and use it actively. The more you do this, the faster your responses will become. Another reason why many learners can understand but not speak is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged, fear of not sounding fluent. These mental blocks are real and powerful. But here's something important. Everyone makes mistakes while learning a new language. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes sometimes. So let go of the idea that you have to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Instead, focus on progress. Aim to communicate, not to impress. If you forget a word, use a simpler one. If your grammar isn't perfect, keep speaking anyway. Your goal is to be understood, not to sound like a textbook. Now, let's do a little speaking challenge. I'll describe a situation, and I want you to speak your response out loud. Ready? You're in a store, and you want to return a shirt that doesn't fit. What will you say to the salesperson? Think for a few seconds, and then say it out loud. You could try something like, "Hi, I bought this shirt yesterday, but it doesn't fit. Can I return it or exchange it for another size?" Even if you're unsure, say it anyway. Practice like this every day. Use your imagination, create scenarios, and speak responses out loud. You don't need a partner for this kind of practice. You are your own best conversation partner. It's also important to build your speaking habits into your daily routine. Don't wait for the perfect moment to practice. Speak to yourself in English when you're getting ready in the morning. Narrate what you're doing. Say things like, I'm brushing my teeth, or now I'm packing my bag for work. This helps your brain stay active in English and gradually builds your confidence. The more natural it becomes to speak in English throughout the day, the easier it will be when you're in a real conversation. Another helpful tip is to shadow native speakers. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say as closely as possible. The same words, tone, rhythm, and speed. You can find short clips from movies or interviews, play a sentence, pause, and repeat it out loud. This helps you train your mouth and ears to work together. Over time, your pronunciation, rhythm, and fluency will improve, and you'll start sounding more natural without even realizing it. Let's try a mini shadowing exercise together. I'll say a sentence, and you'll repeat it after me. Ready? Excuse me. Do you know where the nearest pharmacy is? Now, say it out loud. Again. Excuse me. Do you know where the nearest pharmacy is? Try to copy the way I say it, not just the words, but the intonation and speed. Here's another one. I'm looking for a place to eat. Any recommendations? Repeat that out loud. Speaking out loud regularly is one of the most powerful ways to break the silence barrier and turn your understanding into speaking ability. One of the biggest myths learners believe is that you need someone to talk to in order to practice speaking. While speaking with a partner is great, it's not the only way. You can practice speaking on your own. This might sound strange, but self-talk is one of the most effective methods for building fluency. Think about the moments when you're walking to the bus stop, washing dishes, or waiting in line. These are perfect opportunities to speak to yourself in English. Describe what you see around you. Talk about your plans for the day. Imagine small conversations and speak both sides of them. This keeps your English active and helps you build confidence without any pressure. Let's do a practice together. Imagine it's morning and you've just woken up. Try to say your routine out loud in English. Start with, I'm waking up now. I feel a little sleepy. I'm going to wash my face and brush my teeth. Now, continue. Think about the next thing you would do and speak it in English. You could say, I'm making tea. I like my tea with milk and sugar. Or, I'm getting ready for work. Today, I have a meeting at 10 a.m. Keep going. The more you practice narrating your routine, the more fluent you will become. This practice helps you connect words with actions and improves your ability to speak spontaneously. Another useful practice method is called story retelling. After watching a short video or reading a simple story, try to retell it in your own words. Don't worry about remembering every detail. Just try to summarize what happened. For example, if you watch a short video about someone traveling to Paris, you can say, the man went to Paris for the weekend. He visited the Eiffel Tower, tried some French food, and took many pictures. This exercise forces you to use past tense, vocabulary, and sentence structures in a very natural way. It's a great way to move information from passive memory into active use. Now, let's try this practice. I'll tell you a very short story, and your job is to retell it in your own words. Ready? Here's the story. Anna is a university student. She studies biology and wants to become a doctor. Every morning, she wakes up early, exercises, and goes to class. She likes to study in the library because it's quiet. In the evening, she calls her family and reads a book before bed. Now, pause and try to tell the story in your own words out loud. Even if you miss something, it's okay. What matters is that you're speaking, forming sentences, and using your brain actively in English. Many learners also experience the problem of translating from their native language to English in their head before speaking. This habit slows you down and can make you feel stuck. To break this habit, you need to start thinking directly in English. This can be done by surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. Change your phone's language to English. Label objects in your room with English names. Listen to English podcasts and music regularly. Read English books or articles. When your brain is always exposed to English, it becomes easier to think in English without needing to translate. Let's do a thinking exercise. Look around the room you're in right now. Try to name 5 things in English. For example, table, chair, window, lamp, book. Now, make a sentence with each one. You can say, the table is made of wood, or I'm sitting on the chair. Try to create more sentences using objects around you. Doing this helps you build instant connections between your thoughts and English words, which is a key part of speaking fluently. Another great technique is to record yourself speaking. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but it's one of the best ways to improve. Pick a topic, any topic, like my favorite food or a place I want to visit, and talk for 1 or 2 minutes. Then, listen to the recording. Notice where you hesitated, repeated words, or made grammar mistakes. Don't criticize yourself too harshly. This is just for practice. Over time, you'll notice improvement. You'll speak more smoothly and with fewer pauses. And the best part is, you'll gain the confidence to speak English in real conversations. Let's try a recording practice together. Choose one of these topics: my weekend routine, a movie I like, or a dish I enjoy cooking. Think about it for a few seconds, then speak for 1 minute in English. Don't worry about grammar or vocabulary, just focus on speaking. After you finish, replay your recording and listen to yourself. You'll learn a lot about your own speaking style, and you'll begin to spot patterns in your language use that can be improved. It's like giving yourself a personal lesson. To make real progress, consistency is key. It's better to practice speaking for 10 minutes every day than 1 hour once a week. Make it part of your routine, like brushing your teeth. Keep a speaking journal where you record your voice daily, or jot down sentences you spoke during the day. Celebrate small wins. If you managed to ask a question in English today, that's a win. If you successfully completed a self-talk session, that's another win. These little victories build your confidence and motivation to keep going. Also, be aware of your inner voice. Many learners struggle with negative thoughts like, I'll never be fluent, or I sound terrible in English. These thoughts can silently block your progress. Replace them with positive, supportive thoughts like, every day I'm getting better, or I can express myself clearly in English. Speaking is not just a physical skill, it's a mental game. When you support yourself mentally, your performance improves automatically. Let's try a confidence-building activity. Say these sentences out loud, with belief. I am learning to speak English fluently. I don't need to be perfect to speak confidently. Every word I speak takes me closer to fluency. Repeat these every morning, or before a speaking session. Positive reinforcement can rewire your brain and create a stronger foundation for fluent speaking. Another important tip to improve your speaking is to expand your vocabulary, but not just in a passive way where you recognize the meaning of words. Instead, you need to actively use them. Many learners know the meaning of hundreds or even thousands of English words, but when they speak, they end up using the same basic words over and over again. The key here is to use new words in your own sentences. For example, if you learn the word delicious, don't just remember what it means. Try to use it by saying something like, "The pasta I had for lunch was delicious," or "This soup smells delicious." When you use new words and sentences related to your life, they become part of your active vocabulary, and you'll be able to recall them naturally when speaking. Let's try an exercise right now. I'll give you 3 words: bored, excited, and tired. Now, take a moment to create one sentence for each word and say them out loud. You might say, "I was bored at the meeting today," or "I'm excited to watch my favorite show tonight," and "I feel tired because I didn't sleep well." The goal is to build your comfort using everyday words out loud in your own way. Do this daily with just a few words, and it will make a big difference. Another powerful way to unlock your speaking ability is by practicing short conversations. These don't need to be real conversations with another person. You can role play both sides. This may sound funny, but it's an excellent way to prepare for real-life situations. For example, imagine you are calling to order a pizza. Start the conversation like this: "Hello, I'd like to order a pizza for delivery." Then imagine the other person asking, "What size would you like?" And respond, "A large pepperoni, please." Keep going like that, switching roles. You are practicing not only vocabulary and grammar, but also rhythm and confidence in common situations. Let's do a short role play together now. You're checking into a hotel. Speak both roles. Start with you. "Hi, I have a reservation under the name James Smith." Now, switch to the receptionist. "Welcome, Mr. Smith. May I see your ID and credit card, please?" Then go back to you. "Sure, here they are." Keep going with that exchange. Use your imagination to continue the dialogue. These role plays are like rehearsals, and just like an actor rehearses before a show, you are preparing your brain to speak with ease in real-life conversations. Another area that holds learners back is pronunciation. Many people are afraid to speak because they think their pronunciation isn't good enough. But here's the truth: you don't need a perfect accent to be understood. What matters most is clarity. Focus on speaking clearly, not quickly. Slow down if needed. Take your time to pronounce each word. If there are specific words you struggle with, practice them one at a time. Break them into syllables. For example, the word comfortable is often mispronounced. Try saying it slowly. Comfortable. Then say it naturally. Comfortable. Do this with any word you find difficult. With regular practice, you'll become more confident and fluent. Let's do a pronunciation activity together. Repeat these sentences after me. Focus on the rhythm and sound of each word. First, "I'm going to the grocery store this afternoon." Say it slowly, then naturally. Now, try, "Could you please help me carry these bags?" And one more. It's important to speak English every day. These kinds of short sentence drills help you build muscle memory in your mouth. The more you repeat and speak aloud, the more natural your pronunciation becomes. You should also practice answering common questions. These are questions you hear often in daily life, and having some answers prepared in your mind can make conversations easier. For example, questions like, "What do you do?" "Where are you from?" or "What did you do last weekend?" Think of answers to these questions and practice saying them aloud. You could say, "I'm a university student. I'm studying computer science." Or, "I'm from Islamabad, a city in Pakistan." Then try adding details. "Last weekend, I visited my grandparents and we had a family dinner." Practicing answers like these helps you respond quickly and smoothly when someone actually asks you in real life. Now, it's your turn. I'll ask a question, and you answer out loud. First question: what do you usually do on weekends? Pause and speak your answer. Maybe you say, on weekends I like to relax, watch a movie, and sometimes go shopping with my friends. Good. Next question: what's your favorite food? You might say, my favorite food is biryani. I love the spices and the aroma. Practicing like this every day makes real conversations easier and less stressful. A lot of learners also don't realize the importance of repetition. Repeating words, phrases, and even full sentences helps your brain absorb patterns. Don't be afraid to repeat something many times until it feels easy. Repetition is not boring, it's essential. If you learn a phrase like, I'm not sure, let me think about it, repeat it 10 times over a few days. The next time you're unsure in a conversation, that phrase will come to you automatically. Fluency is built on repetition. Let's repeat some useful phrases together. First, can you say that again, please? Say it now. Again. Can you say that again, please? Now. Try. That sounds interesting. Say it out loud. Again. That sounds interesting. And one more. Let me check and get back to you. Repeat it. Again. Let me check and get back to you. These are short, natural phrases you can use in conversations. Keep repeating them until they become part of your automatic response system. One more great method to improve speaking is to use apps or websites that allow voice input. For example, on many messaging apps, you can record voice messages to your friends. Start doing this in English. It's a low-pressure way to practice speaking, and you'll also hear yourself speak, which helps with awareness. If you don't have someone to send messages to, use the voice recorder on your phone. Talk about your day, explain how you're feeling, or describe something around you. This kind of voice journaling builds fluency and helps you measure progress. Here's a quick idea you can try. At the end of every day, record a 1-minute message describing your day. Say things like, today was busy. I had classes in the morning and then went shopping. I made pasta for dinner and now I'm relaxing. Do this for 7 days. After 1 week, go back and listen to your recordings. You'll hear progress. You'll also see how your vocabulary and speaking comfort have grown in just a short time. Now, let's talk about a powerful method that combines several techniques we've discussed so far, and that method is storytelling. Telling short stories in English is one of the best ways to practice thinking, organizing ideas, using grammar, and expressing yourself with confidence. Start small. Your stories don't need to be complex or dramatic. You can tell a story about something that happened yesterday, something funny your friend said, or even what you did last weekend. The more you practice telling stories, the better your speaking flow becomes. Stories force you to use time markers, different verb tenses, and vocabulary and context, all essential elements of fluent speaking. Let's do a storytelling practice together. Think about your most recent trip to the market. Maybe you went to buy vegetables or some groceries. Try to describe the whole experience. Start like this. Yesterday, I went to the market to buy some fruit. It was very crowded. I bought apples, bananas, and some mangoes. The seller gave me a good price. Then I went to the bakery and bought some bread. On the way back home, it started to rain, so I ran to catch a rickshaw. Say the full story aloud in your own words. Focus on connecting ideas smoothly. Do this kind of storytelling every day. Pick different topics like your morning, your school day, your family, or a funny incident. Another thing that can help you speak better is learning how to use filler words. These are the small words or phrases we use when we need a second to think. In English, common fillers are, well, you know, I mean, actually, let me see, and kind of. These make your speech sound more natural. and help you buy time while you think. For example, instead of staying silent when you're not sure what to say next, you can say, "Well, I think that's a good idea." Or, "Let me see, I think the answer is no." Practicing these fillers in your speaking helps make your conversations smoother and more fluent. Try using some fillers now. Repeat these sentences after me. "Well, I'm not really sure about that." Again, "Well, I'm not really sure about that." Now, try. I've never thought about it before." Again, "I've never thought about it before." Try one more. "Actually, I'd prefer to do something else." Repeat it. Adding these small phrases can make a big difference in how comfortable and confident you sound when speaking English. Let's also not forget the emotional side of speaking a foreign language. Speaking in English, or any other language, requires courage. It requires stepping out of your comfort zone and taking risks. Many learners stay silent not because they don't know what to say, but because they're afraid of being judged. If this sounds like you, I want you to know that your voice matters. Your ideas are important, and people care more about understanding you than judging your grammar or accent. Every time you speak, you're growing. Every time you try, you're improving. Let's do a self-empowerment speaking task. I want you to say these sentences out loud, slowly and with confidence. "I am learning every day. I am becoming more fluent. I can speak English. I just need to practice." Say it again. "I am learning every day. I am becoming more fluent. I can speak English. I just need to practice." These affirmations are more than just words. They are reminders that you're on a journey, and progress is happening step by step. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've practiced. We talked about turning your understanding of English into speaking ability. We explored how listening and reading are passive skills, while speaking is active. We learned how self-talk, role-playing, and storytelling can help you practice daily. We talked about the importance of thinking in English, using simple and real-life vocabulary, and using repetition to train your brain. We did exercises with shadowing, filler phrases, pronunciation, and building answers to common questions. All of these tools are available to you every single day. You just need to use them consistently. Let's try one final speaking routine to wrap everything up. I'll walk you through a full self-practice session. Ready? Start by describing your day from the morning. "This morning, I woke up at 7 a.m. I made a cup of tea and had breakfast with my family." Now, talk about your current mood. "I'm feeling okay today, a little tired but excited to learn." Next, describe what you plan to do after this video. "After watching this, I'm going to practice speaking for 10 minutes. Maybe I'll record myself or try a shadowing exercise." Now, end by saying something positive to yourself. "I'm proud of myself for taking time to improve my English." Try doing this routine every night before bed, or every morning to start your day with confidence.